All right.
Really? Thanks, Matthew.
Oh, thank you.
I would not necessarily use all of that.
Oh, no. Which one are we going to do first?
Which one are we doing first? Here, National Telecommunicator Systems.
Okay.
Did you have a question on top?
That was my daughter in our house.
I'm all good.
She wants to be a chef when she grows up, so that is a fair question. She will take that as the greatest compliment I can give her.
Totally overread your message. That looks so cool.
I was being, yeah, she had words.
She gave me a picture. You have noticed?
She had
Kevin, you're up first. You up?
Yep.
very motivating, I guess.
That is awesome.
How do we get one to Mike just to mess
All
with
right. Call the April 13th City Council meeting to order. Mr. Graham.
Yes, please rise. By way of invocation this evening, I would like to quote part of the Easter prayer of Pope Leo of Chicago. Throughout the world, it is to be hoped that every community become a house of peace, where one learns how to diffuse hostility through dialogue, where justice is practiced and forgiveness is cherished. Now more than ever, we must show that peace is not a utopia. Brothers and sisters of every language, people and nation, we are one family that weeps, hopes, and rises again. No more war, a journey with no return. No more war, a vicious cycle of grief and violence. Amen. Right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips. Councilmember Ponder.
Present.
Councilmember Postle.
Present.
Councilmember Travis.
Present.
Councilmember Graham.
Present.
Councilmember Watt.
Present.
Councilmember Gentrup.
Present.
Councilmember Hagan.
Present.
For the record, I'm here.
Oh, you're not on my list. The Honorable Mr. Knudsen.
All right, we got a couple proclamations. The first one is National Telecommunicators Week. Ms. Spurlock? Come on up and turn around. How are you doing? All right. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require the prompt response of police, fire, or emergency medical services, which is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas public safety dispatchers are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens to telephone the city's emergency services communications center. And whereas public safety dispatchers are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety dispatchers of the Liberty Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas more than 240 million emergency calls are made to dispatchers every year in the United States, 960 were received by public safety dispatchers, 25 alone, 13,000 panic from callers in threatening situations, a calm attitude during times of stress and emergencies. And the dispatcher has exhibited understanding during the performance last year. And it's mayor of the city of Missouri proclaimed the week of through the 2026 Public Safety Week. Missouri, and I call upon all citizens to observe the honor of the men and congratulations.
Pulling your chair up first, sir. Okay. All right, and you gotta slide it out.
What do you want to do?
Slide till you see the red and the
Give this to her? The animal control staff, come on up.
You want a dog, Kelly?
I got one. Got it from you guys. Yeah,
I think the mayor needs one.
That's,
that was
that's,
me.
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good move. You win. You're here. Whereas the National Animal Control Association has designated the second week of April each year as the National Animal Control Appreciation Week. And whereas the various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens, various public safety, public service agencies, and departments throughout the country. And whereas animal control officers respond to the needs of the community, helping both people and animals in many ways, by returning lost pets to their owners, enforcing animal control laws, rescuing injured animals, educating the public regarding pet responsibility, and matching homeless animals with loving new families. And whereas animal control officers provide safe havens for homeless and/or abused animals, providing them with comfort and care. And whereas animal control officers make communities better places to live, taking stray or dangerous animals off the streets and out of harm's way. And whereas the Liberty Animal Shelter served more than 1,100 animals in 2025 and adopted out 740. And whereas the City of Liberty would like to express its sincere thanks and appreciation for the outstanding service the Liberty Animal Control Division staff provides on a daily basis to the citizens of the city and to the various public safety, public service agencies, and departments. And whereas the City of Liberty recognizes and commends the animal control officers for the many dedicated and long hours of service they perform in serving this community and fulfilling the Animal Control Division's commitment to providing the highest and most efficient level of customer service. And whereas the City of Liberty wishes to commend each and every animal control officer for their service, which is in keeping with the long and distinguished tradition of the animal control profession. Now therefore I, Greg Knudsen, Mayor of the City of Liberty, Clay County, Missouri, do proclaim the week of April the 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. Congratulations.
Which one are you taking home, man?
That was a cute one right there.
Me?
Ow.
Sorry, he moved that way. That's all good. We'll get him.
Thank you all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Mike.
Nope, I'm glad there's somebody else's.
Okay.
As Taylor gets drug.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the motion to approve the purchase of a 2026 F-250 crew cab four-wheel drive truck from Gary Crosley Ford in an amount not to exceed $36,125.68.
Move to approval.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes unanimously. The next item is annexation. This needs to be postponed, but I need a motion.
Move to postpone to April 27th, 2026.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? This has been, the motion is approved and postponed to April 27th, 2026. Next item is an ordinance acknowledging vendor payments for the period of March the 13th, 2026 to April the 3rd, 2026. This ordinance excludes Screen Vision Media payments.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been a motion second, any discussion? Call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips, Councilmember Ponder,
Yes.
Councilmember Posel. Yes. Councilmember Travis,
Yes.
Councilmember Graham,
Yes.
Councilmember Watt,
Yes.
Councilmember Gentry,
Yes.
Councilmember Hagan.
Yes.
Ordinance to approve those vendor payments is approved and approved by the chair. The next item is an ordinance including Screen Vision Media payments.
Move to approval.
Second.
Been a motion second, any discussion? Call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips, Councilmember Ponder,
Yes.
Councilmember Posel. Yes. Councilmember Graham,
Yes.
Councilmember Watt,
Yes.
Councilmember Gentry,
Yes.
Councilmember Hagan.
Abstain due to potential conflict of interest.
Ordinance to approve vendor payments passes and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving an agreement with Brindlee Mountain Fire Apparatus LLC for the Listing and Marketing Commission for the sale of the pumper truck 611.
Move to waive the rules, consider this on first read.
Second.
Been a motion second to waive the rules, consider on first read. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move to approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously as moved and is approved by the mayor. Next item is an ordinance approving an agreement with Brindlee Mountain Fire Apparatus for the Listing and Marketing Commission for the sale of pumper truck 612.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
It's been a motion second to waive the rules, consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move to approval.
Second.
Been a motion second, any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously as approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving an agreement with Brindlee Mountain Fire Apparatus LLC for the Listing and Marketing Commission for the sale of pumper truck 613.
Move to waive the rules, consider this one on first read.
Second.
Been a motion second to waive the rules and consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move to approval. Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Ordinance passes unanimously as approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving the vacation of a public easement located at 1500 South Withers Road.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
Been a motion second to waive the rules, consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance amending Chapter 20, Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the City of Liberty, Clay County, Missouri.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to waive the rules and consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Ordinance passes unanimously as approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving an agreement with Federal Signal Corporation for Commander One services in an amount not to exceed $6,241.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to waive the rules and consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move to approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance authorizing the City of Liberty to enter into an agreement, an equipment lease purchase agreement, and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the lease.
Move to waive the rules, consider this on first read.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to waive the rules and consider first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving a contract with Olsson for the South Liberty Parkway Traffic Signal Interconnect Project in an amount not to exceed $143,766.33.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to waive the rules. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval. Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance approving a memorandum of understanding and license agreement with KC 2026.
Move to waive the rules, consider this on first read.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion?
No, to waive the rules.
All right, I was reading my text. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
All right, now we're gonna have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion on that? All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is ordinance approving an agreement with Corrective Asphalt Materials for the 2026 pavement preservation project in an amount of $205,429.50 with funding authorization up to and not to exceed $225,930.
Move to waive the rules, consider on first read.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second to waive the rules and consider first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. The next item is an ordinance amending ordinance number 11972, approving the assignment and assumption of City Park Sidewalk Project 24-009 from Trans Systems Corporation to GFT Infrastructure.
Rules concern first.
Second to waive the rules and consider first read. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Ordinance passes unanimously as approved by the mayor. The next item is ordinance amending ordinance number 11998, approving the assignment and assumption of 104th Street Improvement Project 24-007 from Trans Systems Corporation to GFT Infrastructure.
Move to waive the rules, consider this on first read.
Second.
It's been a motion second to waive the rules and consider on first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move to approval. Second.
It's been a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion to waive the rules. I'm sorry, the ordinance passes unanimously and is approved by the mayor. Next item is an ordinance accepting a covenant to maintain stormwater management systems from EPS CV LLC for the Tap Farms residential development.
Move to waive the rules concern first reading.
Second.
Been a motion second to waive the rules, consider first read. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, motion to waive the rules passes unanimously.
Move its approval.
Second.
It's been a motion second to approve the ordinance. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, ordinance passes unanimously as approved by the mayor. The next item is a resolution accepting the Tap Farms residential development, public storm sewer, sanitary sewer, water, and street improvements.
Move to approval.
Second.
Been a motion second to approve the resolution. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, the resolution passes unanimously. The next item is a resolution authorizing the filing of a grant application with the Federal Railroad Administration for the design of a bridge over the rail lines along Birmingham Road just south of Holt Drive, thereby removing the current at-grade rail crossing.
Move approval of resolution. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All is opposed? Resolution passes unanimously. Mr. Winston, are we ready for public comments, or do we have something else?
Just next Monday, we have a meeting, like a work session on design guidelines for the downtown. We'll be meeting with the HDRC.
Okay,
It'll be a joint meeting.
all right, and then we also have that, public open house on Thursday at 5.
That's correct.
Okay, so, now we're gonna have our public comment period. I've got a bunch of, let's see here, we've got some data center folks that would like to, let me do this. I know a number of you are here to at least, maybe you wanna get up and talk about the data center. What I will tell you is that we have passed out a frequently asked questions to everybody's seat, so that people could get read into what we believe have been the most frequently asked questions, so that you can read those. That probably answers most people's questions. It may not answer everybody's question. On a public comment period, that is not a time where because of state law and sunshine law, we're not allowed to discuss and with the people that come forward. We hear the public comments. What I will tell you is that I will stay after this for as long as anybody would like to talk to me about this development deal, because I know that I have spoken to a number of neighborhoods, and after we've talked about this project and everything that it means to the city, people have been very, very enthusiastic about it, and I know that a lot of people, want to know, a lot of the details, and so we think that the frequently asked questions, lines out a lot of it. But if it doesn't, and you come up, we're gonna take your public comment, but like I said, I think there's a number of us up here that would be glad to stay and talk to anybody that has questions about it. This has already been passed, and, we wanna know, if you would like to stay after, that would be great. I think we've addressed the water rates. The water rates are not gonna be going up. We have plenty of capacity. The water rates are not going up. If they were to use more than they've stated that they were going to use, there would be a penalty, and then ultimately we could turn it off. They should be using about the same amount of water as an industrial building of the same size, so we don't anticipate there being incredible water usages like you hear in other places. This is not a hyperscaler. This is not one that's gonna be using 1 million gallons an hour. This is a closed loop system, and when we negotiated this development agreement, we took into consideration the water rates, we took into consideration the electric rates. Electric rates are not gonna be going up because of this data center in Liberty. They have agreed to pay for any infrastructure upgrades that are needed. Those costs will not be passed on to the consumers here in Liberty. That has been addressed in the development agreement. Noise ordinances, sometimes you hear people talk about noise. Our noise ordinances will continue to be applicable to this development, just as they are to every other development. That we don't anticipate there being a noise problem, and if there is, there would be the ability to go after any type of violation of the noise ordinance. We also have light ordinances, and so there's also the prohibition from them doing something that would create light pollution, that would be any different than a normal warehouse, essentially. These are just warehouses with very expensive equipment. That's ultimately what we have here. So, I think that we're really excited about the ability to have taken what is a development that many communities are vying for. Many communities have questions about them. We think that we have struck a great balance of not having one of these hyperscalers, but one that is a relatively small 568,000 three-phase development. And we think that we have a piece of ground that would have brought in $35,000 over the next 25 years to the taxing jurisdictions in this county. And instead, it's gonna bring in $49 million. And those $49 million, $30 million of it's gonna be for schools. And when we did this agreement, we not only negotiated a $30 million for the schools. Out of that $49 million, we also negotiated an additional almost $30 million for higher education. The people up here feel that, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but I think that it's consistent with everybody's beliefs. I want a community in which every child that grows up here has every opportunity that a child in any other part of this country has, in any other part of this world. And part of that is being part of the high-tech world. And we think that not only are we putting in $30 million into the K through 12, we've negotiated a fantastic deal to have higher education relevant to the high-tech world be a central component of this. And we think that over time, that is gonna probably be a defining feature of this agreement, that we will have the best and the brightest from around the world coming to Liberty to help teach our kids in this community about ethics, AI robotics. Many communities that get these types of community benefits will buy a scoreboard or turf a field, and they'll do something that is really not far-reaching and not really relevant to the high-tech world. And one thing we really tried to do was, if we're going to have a data center, and these go all over the country, when they come here, they can't just slap the name of some high-tech company on the side of it and make everybody feel like you're part of the high-tech world, because you're not. It's just a warehouse with a bunch of expensive equipment. So what we've tried to do is to make sure that we get to take advantage of some relevance to the high-tech world, because the communities in the future, there's only gonna be two types of communities: those that embrace and are part of the high-tech world and find relevance in the high-tech world, and those that don't. And so we think that we have solved the electric rate problem, the water rate problem, and we think that over time, people are gonna really think this is a fantastic development agreement. We took a ground that was gonna bring in about $35,000 over the next 25 years, and now it's gonna bring in about $80 million. So that was the thinking behind it. I know that public comment is not very satisfying if you wanna get up and say, well, Greg, why did you do this, or why did you do that? Like I said, those of you that know me, I've been here for a really long time. I love this community. I try to do what's in the best interest all the time for the community, and I will be willing to stay here as long as anybody wants to afterwards to talk about this. And so, just because you get 3 minutes and that's it, that's the way the public comment period works. But like I said, I'll be happy to stay up here, and I'll volunteer Mike Hagan from the Budget Committee to talk about if you have a question about water rates or electric rates and how that works in the city of Liberty. So to make sure that that's something that you feel comfortable with. So having said all that, let's just begin. Who would like to get up and give us their thoughts?
Hi, good evening. My name is Carrie Lonsdale, 1320 Huntington Drive, Liberty, Missouri. We hear a lot about, AI and investing all this money into our schools. I think our school system is great. I've raised a state rep. I have a daughter in the Air Force that helped take down some of the top Taliban leaders overseas. I think our educational system is awesome the way it is. All these generalizations about what the city council thinks is best for the city. There was no vote. People didn't have a vote in this. It's our land, and 7 people shouldn't decide on what is done with the city, how things are increased as far as money and revenue. What the citizens probably don't know is that Knudsen, Kevin Graham, Kelly Wren Polzel, Mike Hagan, Jeff Dima, Carly Scheider, and Garrett Brown are the 7 people that are going to be responsible. They formed a 501c3 in Jeff City with the help of Charles Hatfield, which is a well-known Democratic attorney. And that 501c3 is going to manage the profits of this data center. Not the people, not the town, nothing. So I've just found this out tonight. I need to be able to understand why the 501c was filed March 20th and why the LLC, which was filed in Delaware, not Missouri, but in Delaware, the LLC with the LLC that owns the land that is owned by a person in California. So this, I have the documentation, and I'll be happy to share it with anybody. State of Missouri, application for registration of a foreign limited liability company in the state of Delaware. So what this means is, from what I understand, this 501c is going to be able to take the profits of the data center, and they will decide how that money is used. And the connection, it's called the Liberty Institution for Science and Ethics. So that bridge is, they're gonna be able to use that money and decide where that money goes with AI technology in the future of whatever it is. There's no way this can be compliant, because the transparency problems are, was this put out that this 501c3 was gonna be formed? No, I didn't know anything about it until after the fact. Talked to several city council members, they weren't even in on it until the vote came up. Where is the transparency when all the city council members don't even know that this is being formed? Only 4 city council members are on this board. The other 3 people I know nothing about, but they're gonna decide where this money goes. And so the conflicts, the legalities, the compliance issues of 501c3, the members vote on matters beneficially to themselves. Is that gonna be a problem? The nonprofit is effectively controlled by city officials without safeguards. Where is the transparency of these people being on this board? We didn't even know, this was in the guise of the night, and nobody knew
Okay,
about
thank you very
this.
much. Thank you very much. Now,
You're
normally we
welcome.
don't talk, respond to public comments, but Ms. Lonsdale's been a frequent flyer here and been kind of notorious for, allegations against the council and various, as usual, she's disruptive. She's been disruptive in past meetings, Chamber of Commerce forums. Obviously, we hired the best law firm in the state of Missouri to negotiate. We can keep making those comments, and you can make those faces like you've done in the past. We hired the best law firm in the state of Missouri to advise us on the proper structure for this development deal. That's what we did. Of course, we want to have, make sure that this institute gets off to a great start. It's going to be housed at William Jewell College. You can read the articles of an organization if you want to go to the State of Secretary's website and see that it's to explore the ethical impact of artificial intelligence, robotics, and emerging technologies, conduct, sponsor, and support scientific research activities and programs that advance knowledge and innovation in emerging technologies. It goes on to talk about all the different things it can do. It will allow for us to fund student scholarships for people in this community. It will allow us to bring in people to be fellows at the institution. It will be housed up at William Jewell College. So we will be bringing in some of the best and the brightest from around the country to help teach our students, to try to become part and relevant in the high-tech world. This is our way of doing that. We think it's a fantastic opportunity. And yeah, we went out and hired the best law firm in the state to advise us. And the fact that she wants to bring in partisan politics is frankly offensive. All right, who else would like to come up here?
Hi, my name is Bailey Baskell of Liberty. I would like these questions just to be on the record, and I'd love to have a response tonight or within 48 hours. These are the questions that we still don't know and would like more transparency for. Are any current city council members or the mayor actively serving on the nonprofit board at the same time they voted on the MetroBlocks project? What specific authority does the nonprofit board have over how the $27.75 million is allocated? After the initial board, how are future board members selected, and is there any public oversight of that process? Can the City of Liberty remove or replace nonprofit board members after initial appointment? Do any nonprofit board members receive compensation, stipends, reimbursements, or indirect financial benefits? Will any funds from the nonprofit be directed to organizations, employers, or business interests connected to board members or their families? And just for clarification, this is in reference to the Liberty Institute of Science and Ethics. Are there written policies preventing conflicts of interest in how funds are distributed? Did any council members who are now on the nonprofit board vote to approve the MetroBlocks project or related agreements? If so, were any conflict of interest disclosures filed prior to those votes? Did any officials recuse themselves from discussion or voting due to their role in the nonprofit? Who determines which institutions, programs, or individuals receive funding from the nonprofit? Will funding decisions be made through a competitive, publicly disclosed process? Will the public have access to records showing how funds are awarded and spent? Has the city obtained a formal legal opinion regarding whether this structure complies with the Missouri Conflict of Interest status? And we also, it was mentioned earlier about the devices and wanting to stay with the current tech and device situations. But I would wonder how does that affect, how is that connected to, what do you do when that's connected to the lowering overall test scores that we're already seeing in our state, seeing as how we're already in the 40th percentile and devices and tech have already been around for a while? You also mentioned that you took into considerations the rates for the water rates in the closed loop water system. Can we see those documents and the rate study that you used to do that? There's been a lot of hubbub going on with this data center and the way it was done. And just from my own personal opinion, I do not feel like I was afforded a voice or an option to make a stance. And now we're kind of feeling like we're being kind of forced into a corner. It does not feel like this was done with the best interests of the community. It does not feel like the community was involved. It does not feel like the community was highly considered.
Okay, thank you very much. That's obviously not true. You misstated the facts, you've misstated, we're not, there's another data center that was using their community benefit agreement for the trades and for, and we've just chosen to do it for higher education. Everything complies with Missouri law. What you're saying are things that are, you're essentially asking for things that would have made this development agreement unlawful. And we have done everything according to the law. We had the best law firm in the state advise us on the structure, and we are confident that we have done that. And that's why we hired him. So, who else would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Elvia Beck, and I am here as a concerned community member who cares deeply about the health, safety, and long-term future of our community. I want to clarify, I know my friend Bailey just came up here to speak. I think what we are requesting is transparency, right? We're not saying that anything illegal has happened. We just, as citizens, would like to have more transparency about this deal. And my concerns mainly are about health, right? I'm here raising my child as well, and so raising a family here in Liberty, that's what I am concerned about. Across the country, we are seeing a rapid expansion of data centers, and with that growth comes serious and often underestimated consequences. This is not just about technology, it's about people, infrastructure, and accountability. I have several critical questions that I believe we as residents deserve clear, enforceable answers to. Data centers are among the most energy-intensive facilities in the world. Many cities, including parts of Northern Virginia, Oregon, Georgia, residents are seeing their utility costs rise because of infrastructure upgrades that were passed on to consumers, not corporations driving demand. I know you clarified in the frequently asked questions and earlier that cost will not be passed on to residents. However, I would like to know how that is going to be enforced. What legal enforceable protections are there for the people that our utility costs will not be increased due to this data center? We are already getting letters, I am at least, from Evergy saying there will be increases coming due to infrastructure. It's very vague. So I think that is something that's concerning the community, is having that in writing, having that enforceable protection when it comes to this data center. Will Metro Blocks be contractually required to fully fund all necessary energy infrastructure, yes or no, and is that accessible to the public? Can the city guarantee that our utility bills will not increase as a result of this project, again, kind of tying into that enforceable protections? When it comes to water use and contamination risks, the Metro Blocks proposal uses, vague language like the closed loop water systems. However, industry research and environmental reports show that even closed-loop systems require significant water usage and can still pose contamination risks through leaks, chemical treatment discharge, or maintenance failures. Data centers can use millions of gallons of water every year or even every day. So I ask, what is the maximum daily and annual water usage expected for this facility? Not estimates or maximums, not 85% less than what are the actual numbers that we can expect? What chemicals will be used in the cooling systems, and how will they be properly stored and disposed of so they do not contaminate our groundwater?
All right,
What
thank you. You had some good questions. I'd be happy to answer some of those afterwards. I think those were some good questions, and I think we have some answers for you, and we'd be happy to talk to you about them. Anyone else?
My name is Ben Holland. I've worked and lived in Liberty lots over the years. I've got some questions for you. Are nonprofit board members required to file financial disclosures similar to public officials? What safeguards are in place to ensure no special monetary benefit is provided to board members or associated entities? Will the nonprofit be subject to Missouri Sunshine Law requirements? Will meeting minutes, financial reports, and grant decisions be publicly available? How can residents raise concerns or request audits of the nonprofit? And then on a personal note, I've been in education over 20 years. What I've found from with my own two eyes is that the more tech kids have, the worse off they are in terms of how they are able to learn. I think it's interesting that this nonprofit is headquartered at William Jewell, an institution notoriously in financial dire straits these last few years. It seems to me that if you wanted to do something for public higher education, you might do something to help them out. I wonder if we go there in a year or two, is this nonprofit room at William Jewell just going to be an empty shell? And I'm very, very disappointed in all of you.
Anyone else?
My name's Mark Gaskell. I live in Ward 1. I don't have a ton of hard questions. Mine are more about some of the tax revenue, and I'm happy to talk to you after the meeting, just because I know that they're going to be, I think that they said that I think the paperwork you guys put out said that there are some tax incentives that are being given to get them to come down here, and so I just maybe have a question about the direction of those cash flows, like how often, how soon or late do we have to wait before the city actually starts bringing in something from that agreement? Thank you.
Be happy to talk to you about that afterwards.
Matt Smith, 5411 White Oak Lane. I'm a software architect. I'm an engineering manager. I use AI every day. I don't always want to use it, but it's the way of the thing that we're going, right? We had websites come along in the 90s, and everybody kind of pivoted to that. Expensive to run, a lot of energy consumption, a lot of upfront costs. Over time, things get better, and they become more affordable. Sounds like the MetroBlocks thing is running more lean than the Independence one that was proposed. I am curious. 25 years is a long time for a tech company. In 25 years, a lot of things change. If MetroBlocks, like Sora, got shut down, if MetroBlocks goes away, what happens to that promise that we had, where we gave them an upfront cut to be able to come here? And then also, it says 75 jobs here, but the other documentation said 30. So I'm just curious, a little disconnect there. And no, I think it's gonna be fine, right? It's potentially gonna bring in other tech things. I want my office to be here. I don't want to have to go downtown. So if we could do something with that, that would be great. But some questions, I'll hit you guys up. I know you guys are always available. A lot of the questions I've heard tonight have been answered other places. And I think maybe just the way things are delivered and maybe some transparency would be great. But change is scary, and I think we'll either adapt or we won't. So.
Right. No good deed goes unpunished. We'll be serving on this spending a lot of time and energy on an institute to make sure that it complies and gets off the ground, and we'll be making no money, but just doing it because we love the community. Everybody up here loves the community. The council was informed of the institute beforehand, and so, everything, you know, we've had some frequent flyers here tonight like we always do, and, you know, I think that people can spend an hour with her and spend an hour with me and see which side you want to come down on. Who else? Anybody else? All right. That concludes the public comment period. Mr. Winston, do you have anything else tonight?
Just if we have a study session on next Monday.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna wait till the end. We have, well, I'll wait till the, yeah.
You're waiting, okay.
Still let me forget.
I just got a couple of things. The Liberty Arts Commission awarded many grants to the utility box artwork, and the artwork wraps will be unveiled on April 29th at 4:30. And the first one will be at Ruthmore Park, and then after that we head over to the second unveiling at Ridge and Kansas Streets, which is I think the southeast corner of Heritage Middle School. So come out and meet the winning artists. They're from both high schools, so it's a nice celebration for these two kids. Also on Saturday there is the rededication of the Statue of Liberty at Franklin School, which is in connection with the America 250 celebration. The DAR, which is the Daughters of the American Revolution, of which I'm a member, and the Liberty Public Schools were responsible for getting this cleaned up and new bricks or new whatever they did to the base of it. So anyway, that is on Saturday at 10 a.m. So come out and see that rededication. That's all I have.
Yeah, quickly, really happy to see the Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. And it just made me think how far we've come in the last few years with that facility and how amazing it is now and what we've accomplished. And it really, in a bigger way, it's one of the things I'm probably most proud of my time here. We've done a lot of great things. And it's really an example of how when we say we're gonna do something, we keep our promise, we make it happen. And so, you know, that facility I'm extraordinarily proud of. And I thought it was a fantastic move to bring the dogs because they get a lot of attention, but I also thought it was genius because they have to leave then, right? They have no excuse to stay, which is super smart on their part. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, I was just struck, well, that was great too, but the emergency responders and dispatch people, you know, when you start thinking about the number of calls we had in 2025, 208 calls a day, I think, if I did the math right, give or take, something like that, 210 calls a day.
I was doing the math over here, yeah. I was thinking about the same.
Something about that. Okay, good. So two finance guys can come up with the same number. I like that. Yeah, two budget committee members can do it too. So that's pretty good. And then, you know, and then about 2 an hour, I think, were emergency calls. If I was doing that math correct, it is phenomenal work that they do. Often under crisis, you know, people are calling you at their worst moment that they have in their life, needing help and assistance, and always a cool, calm head on the other end, giving them proper instructions and getting the proper personnel to their house. So it's every year when we do that, it never ceases to amaze me how busy they are. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, rah, rah, rah. Anyway, here we go. It's springtime. I change in the spring. You probably couldn't tell it, but I do. The fact that it is springtime, many things begin blooming, and the greenery and the power mowers running and the trimmers, et cetera, et cetera. And Liberty is looking better. I mean, just in what I see going around with into various different neighborhoods, okay? All neighborhoods aren't the same. But the fact that we have a town here that is growing, you do one of two things. Either you grow or become stagnant and die. Okay, it's just that simple. And anyone with any knowledge of life understands that. But anyway, be that as it may, that's another conversation I'll have with myself when I shave. But the next thing, just loving to see how Liberty has grown over the years. We've had many people to come through, different ideas, new ideas. Sometimes we become complacent, but I've noticed, I've been back here over 20 years. And in that 20 years, matter of fact, 22 years next month, just seeing the change in the last 20 years. I left over 60 years ago, and I couldn't wait to get away. Being back here has brought many good memories, but also to watch this whole place evolve. Art, the music, the business, new businesses coming into town, the whole bit. It's having a flower pot sitting on the ledge, and it's there, and all of a sudden you watch something come out of it. Well, that's, in essence, that's Liberty. It is the pot that has been sitting here, different administrations, et cetera, and we're watching it grow. Growth is sometimes frightening to people. Change is sometimes frightening. You know, I don't like my neighbors, but that's not frightening to me. It may be to my neighbors. All the things that we are seeing now, regardless of how I personally feel about it, mine is for the betterment of Liberty. And anytime, and I don't mind, I hear someone state a disappointment with us, I say, look within yourself. You can't be disappointed when people are doing their best. When you present a negative view of a group of anybody, that's not positive for you. Okay? Doesn't matter whether it's a citizen's comment or a council member or any comment. Civility, okay? I'm a stickler for it. I am not, and I will not be, and I choose not to even be associated with anything that's illegal. You talk, and just sometimes we get carried away with our personal emotions. Business is business, BS is BS, and that stands for Betty Sater. Nobody knows Betty Sater. We have a good thing here in Liberty. I'm proud to be a part of it, and I push it off on anybody else. There's not enough money in the world to make me desecrate the people who came before me, to make it possible for me to sit here. Money is not a driving force. Incivility is not a driving force. We can be civil or we can be stupid. I'm gonna choose civility, and I'll leave the remainder to anyone who chooses to pursue that.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I will be back here on Friday with the first graders of Epic Elementary. One of my favorite times. They get excited to get the pictures behind the podium, get to ask the really tough questions. I'll get some numbers from you, BJ. They're going to ask some hard statistics, so I'm just going to be prepared to get those scope for us. And actually, I really like the kind of the juxtaposition here. We're going to be talking about the historic downtown infill and how we preserve and maintain the history, the excitement. We're going to rededicate a monument that's almost 100 years old at Franklin, one of our old schools. And we're talking about a data center and infusing William Jewell College, the Hilltop, with an AI and a technical presence. So I think when you look at what it takes to kind of strike that balance there, just really cool to have those two things and the juxtaposition that really is what we're doing over the next couple weeks and really what's taken over this session. I think it is really cool to try to see how we balance and to see the passion in the questions, and I really love the engagement we're getting and the questions. And then obviously, Mayor, I love your idea just to keep the conversation going, because I think that's really what it be. But man, I just think it's really cool when you start thinking about kind of that maintaining the history and what we're doing with the downtown and comparing it to ourselves, trying to stay future-driven as well. So I think that's really an impressive balance that we try to strike. So I'm really excited about our direction. That's all for me.
You have a lot of fun.
Second.
Yeah. Well, wish I could be there for the Statue of Liberty rededication, but this Saturday my son's getting married, and I get to be, I'm the officiant of, I'm actually marrying him.
Cool.
So it's kind of a
Way to
fun,
go.
different angle to be in right now.
That's
And
awesome.
so best of luck Saturday with that.
Nice.
The other thing I wanted to bring up here was, here about a week, 10 days ago, we lost another gem in this community, Dr. Dan Triplett. He helped to do a lot as far as starting the hospital and many other components. I had the privilege of being part of the American Legion's funeral honors and providing the 21 gun salute, and to be there to support and show the respect to him. And he served in a generation long before most of us were born. He was in back in 66 through 68, and it's just kind of impressive. But to be a part of that was just a very humbling way to be. Talking cemeteries, this coming Saturday is our next cemetery work day. We're at Fairview New Hope. So the gathering point is by the columbariums there, kind of in the middle between the two cemeteries. It's only from 9 to noon. Please bring work gloves, water bottles, and right now we're getting the preparation for Memorial Day. We have an even better work day coming up in May that I'll save for later, but we've had a really cool recognition coming up with that. But right now we're trying to get Fairview New Hope looking its best, so when we get the Avenue of Flags up for the American Legion, it can be wonderfully enjoyed. The last one here, for those that may not have noticed coming in tonight, talking about the downtown infill, the GM Peters building is about 80% down. That's a very heavy-duty building, built for the old nuclear fallout shelter days, but they're down into the basement now. So for those that think there's never ever going to be progress, the progress has begun. But that's all I have.
Nothing here, Mayor.
All right, we have some trees from America 250 tree planting and Arbor Day. If anybody would like a tree, we have extras that we had from this weekend. We started planting the 250 trees that should last, but we hope to be another 250 years. The idea being that we would plant trees in honor of our country's birth that would be around when we had our 500th year celebration. Does anybody tend to be here for it?
I'll stick around.
I kind of want to. So the idea is that we leave something that's a legacy. It might be the one thing that we do that will be preserved. And there will be trees that will live that 250 years. So we think that's kind of cool and special. I don't think that, and then we also had Arbor Day trees, so we have some extra ones. The ones we're planting are much bigger. They're like red northern oaks and a bunch of oaks, but we do have that. I do want to say that, I love this community. I always say I love this community. Everybody up here loves this community. We all serve for very little compensation. I think I make about $1 an hour. I kill my law practice most days doing it. I do it because I love this community. I've been here for 50 years. My dad taught at William Jewell for 31 years. Both my daughters graduated from Jewell. I want a community that is the best it can be. I always say we live in the greatest city on planet Earth. And, I want everybody to be rowing in the same direction. I want people to be involved in this community and do it in a positive way. And I think that the people up here try to do that. And I see people like Teresa Bird out there and Matt Smith. They try to do that too. I see Ann out there. There are people in this community that really try to do things that are positive, not running people down, running things down that the city are doing. Get involved. Help us. We want this to be the greatest city on planet Earth. We want this to be the most special place, the greatest place to raise your kids. And we want every opportunity that a kid has in this world to be able to take advantage of that right here in this city. And, being able to help the school district K through 12 and then doing what is going to be a remarkable institute. It is going to be something that allows this city to be relevant in a high-tech world and allow us to bring people in from around this country, help educate people in in this community, but also bring in talent from around the world. Why should you have to go to the coast to go get a higher education that is first rate? Why can't we do it right here? And that's what we're trying to do, and I'm proud of what we're doing. I think that over time, this may be one of the most remarkable things that we do. It'll be a lasting legacy, and I'm very proud of where we are. I'm very proud of what we've done, and I invite everybody in this community to help out. You know, we got lots of things that we're doing, and I would invite everybody to be positive. I think that's what Shelton's message usually is. And I would just ask everybody to do that. I will stay here as long as anybody wants to stay and talk about data centers. We're adjourned.
I forgot to say the over 2